So real quick, I wanted to talk about darkness. I know that's not the most popular subject when it comes to spirituality. Well, it's very popular in the things that I study because I'm an occultist. And like I've said many times before, there's a big difference between an occultist and a spiritualist, or it's not really a difference, but those names do tend to carry different weight down here on Earth. But at the end of the day, we're all doing the same thing. But the occult is the most effective, most efficient path, hands down. So, when it comes to darkness, we first have to understand the mind control that has been put on us since, well, shit, mind control has always been a thing. That's how you get anything done down here. That's how you religion, mind control, we all know that. Schools, music, they all train your subconscious, and your subconscious is what dictates what you do throughout, without you even knowing it. I think it's a stat saying that, like, out of your 30,000 thoughts a day, like 20,000 of are 20, I think it was 29 or 25,000, some shit like that, are thoughts we had the day before. You know what I'm saying? So we often run on autopilot and don't even realize it. And so once you realize that, it's like, okay, in what areas am I running on autopilot? Shit. And you got to ask yourself, and if you're honest with yourself, you'll see that it's in most areas. Who told us that having sex before marriage was bad? Who told you that? Even better, who told you what marriage was? Because marriage actually is sex. When you look back on it, once you fuck somebody, that is a marriage. That's why, technically, the marriage don't even count until you go and consummate it at the end. So fuck it is marriage. So that's why you're not supposed to be doing it with everybody. But you didn't know that. I only know that because I had to tap into my spirit and understand that for myself. So imagine how many things we've been misled about. And then you got to ask yourself, what benefit do people get out of misleading us? Now, obviously, when you're talking about darkness, the first thing that you're going to think about is demons. Unfortunately, some people think about Africans, West African spirituality, and they try to demonize that. But then, and they look at the East African, which niggas don't even know is East African, the Jewish shit, the Arabic shit, the Christian shit. They look at that as like it's the light side, and then the old shit is the dark side. So remember that. Remember I said that. So when it comes to demons, there are 72 demons of the Goetia, which was made by Lester Crowley and S.L. McGregor Mathers or whatever. When they made this shit, I think it was in the 1800s or some shit like that. But he basically channeled 72 demons. That's I've spoken about the 72, the number 72, and this a little bit in one of my previous videos. But to go a little bit deeper into it, the 72 demons of the Goetia are your quote unquote dark side of the 72 chakras that are in your pineal gland. The 72 angels are your quote unquote light side. So light is a reflection. So what we see is light. So if I see something that's red, it's because that object is absorbing every other color and it's reflecting red. Not that it is actually red, it's reflecting red. So what we see as light is a reflection, and we know that light takes time. So just for me to look at this camera that's in front of my face, there is a time difference between when I'm actually making the action and saying shit, and the light is reaching my eyes. It might be minuscule, but there's still a time difference. If we look into the sky, say you trying to just, look into the sky, you looking at a minimum an hour back in time. A minimum of an hour back in time. So you bring that into perspective and you realize that light is the creation of a false place. This ain't real. This is a matrix. So what is darkness? Darkness is that which absorbs. You understand what I'm saying? So that means within the darkness, so we see black as darkness, even though darkness is darkness, it's darker than black. But in black, every color is in black. Everything is combined and absorbed into the color black. You see something that's black, that means every single color, all seven colors on the Roy G. Biv have been absorbed into that black ball or whatever the fuck you're looking at. So if light is fake and it's what creates the matrix and it's what dictates math and it's what, and numbers are just a matrix, what the fuck is darkness? Darkness is reality. Now remember that I said what I said about the demons and the angels. Now, so it was around the time of the Renaissance. The Renaissance, not the Harlem Renaissance, not the real nigga Renaissance, the fucking Illuminati European Renaissance. That's when most of the white supremacists, the Illuminati, this bullshit, which are the same thing, white supremacists, Illuminati. The majority of that was planned and planned to, I guess, attack us. And they've had this long plan, because like I've said before, if you are to run a country and to run a group of people effectively or for any length of time, you have to be an occultist. You have to be an occultist. I'm telling you, bro, ain't nobody running no country that doesn't understand mind control. Because how you gonna run the country? How you gonna run the country? You can't get people to follow you. Nobody can run a country when you don't understand religion. Religion is what unifies a country. Most of these Islamic countries have that in their name. Like Iran, the actual name of Iran is the Islamic Republic of Iran. So over here in America, we kind of shrug it off because, we're all half-baked, whether it's a Christian, a Jew, or whatever. Everybody over here is not really devout like that. So we don't understand the creation of this country because we don't understand Freemasonry, period. And you don't have to be a Mason, or you don't have to join Masonry to go and understand. All you have to do is study. You know what I'm saying? I don't even associate myself with Masonry anymore because I didn't learn anything for real in Masonry. I learned everything on my own. So you don't have to join Masonry to join a Masonic order to understand what the fuck is going on. All you have to do is read and study. Understand who the Masons are. Understand who the Rosicrucians are. When the Rosicrucians which are probably, you got the Rosicrucians, you got the Masons, you got the the Knights Templar. All of these are pretty much the same organization, but it keeps switching faces. So I'll tell you this right now: what Masonry was 100 years ago is no longer that. They've moved on to another name. You know what I'm saying? There are still Masons, there are still Rosicrucians, there are still, but what people that are intelligent and people that want to hide shit, if I want to enact power and I see that, okay, my cover's being blown under Masonry, all I got to do is just start another group and call it whatever the fuck I want to. So we got to be careful when we're giving energy to these names, because those are literally scapegoats. Those are literally veils that are put up for people to get caught up in, while, and while we getting lost in Freemasonry and all of this other shit, trying to figure out who the Illuminati is and what they're doing to us. Man, these niggas is behind the scenes working. I just say that. So what was I saying? Okay, yeah. So when it comes to the Rosicrucians, the Masons, and all of that, they all knew, based off of the Kabbalah and channeling and just knowing history and understanding the prophecies that were given out in Egypt and all of this, they knew that we were going to rise now. So ever since the what you call it Renaissance, the European Renaissance, they've been trying to enact mind control on us. Why us? Because we are darkness. We are melanin. That's what niggas don't understand. This whole army, I mean, this whole mutiny against darkness and being scared of the dark and ghosts and monsters being ugly and all of that, those are tricks of the light. Those are light tricks. And like I said, light is fake. So what we perceive to be beautiful here may or may not be beautiful on the next realm. How we perceive beauty may not be the way that we perceive beauty on the next realm. And it might be, actually, it might be jam-packed. It might be a lot of different ways. That's what I think it is. But what I know is melanin is the dark substance that creates, that bursts this light. So basically what I'm saying is, when you're scared of demons, you're scared of yourself. And I know people don't want to hear that, but I'm going to tell you why. If you're scared of demons, you're scared of yourself. Y'all ready? And I know this fucking you up. I know. It's okay, though. When the demons was created by Lester fucking Crowley, what he did to take them 72 demons is he took old gods that were already fucking deities worshipped by older black indigenous groups, and then he made them demons. Like King Paimon is a Mesopotamian goddess. You got Baal and fucking they slipping my mind, but all of these fucking demons, every one of them can be traced back to an actual deity. So when you tie in the Rosicrucians, the Masons, and all of their mission to train the dragon or kill the dragon. You ever seen the movies How to Train a Dragon? Or, the Arthurian legends are always about killing a dragon. They're talking about Kundalini energy, which is melanin. And by the way, every white people have melanin too, but just not as much. And not because it don't show up on their skin. There are some white people that do have the melanin, you know what I'm saying? Because we can incarnate. White people come from black people, so we can incarnate as white people if we want to. But there's an inner melanin that's not really shown on the skin, that according to some people, they believe that since we have all of the different African tribes mixed up over here in America, that this Western black man is the new super African, because we got all of them bloodlines, all of them tribes in us. That makes sense to me. But anyway, you have to understand that the goal of all of these white occultists, the Rosicrucians, all of this, ain't no presidents running shit if they don't already have a group of people behind them. Abraham Lincoln was a Rosicrucian. So please understand that the fight for freedom, the Civil War and all of that shit, that was done because Abraham Lincoln was kind of like how Joe Biden is now. He understood from a mystical point of view the need to get right with the dark energy. He understood that, and when you read any of these white occult niggas, especially them older occult niggas, them niggas, bro, I'm telling you, them niggas act like they so scared of the dark, and they might be so scared of the dark. Eliphas Levi went and made the Baphomet picture, which was a Moorish deity that was given to the Knights Templar, which was created by the Moors. So he went and turned that deity, which we have no known sight of the deity. He just made the deity into a devil-looking deity. You look at the meaning of the Devil Tarot card, which has that picture on it. The whole meaning of it is the illusion and the falsehood that what looks like the devil is not really the devil. So it's clear that what they've done is they have in your mind tricked you into being scared of yourself. Like I said, How to Train a Dragon. They're talking about how to control black melanated kundalini energy on this earth. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't have enough of it within themselves. So they got to ride a dragon, or they got to slay a dragon, or they got to train a dragon. But we are the dragon. So they're talking about us. They're talking about understanding how to rise to the level that we are. That's what they're talking about every time. But you got to understand that we're a threat to them, the same way that a lion is a threat to a gazelle. But what if the gazelle tricked the lion? You know what I'm saying? What if the gazelle tricked the lion into thinking that the lion didn't have no power? The gazelle ain't going to forget about that. It's still going to, you know what I'm saying? It's still going to try to finesse you. And that might not have been the best example, but y'all niggas know what I'm talking about. So, you know, I don't know what else to say, man. That it's all mind control. It's all a trick. They've taken everything that was yours, everything that identify people, you know, the original man on this earth, which is a black man, black woman. They took everything for that we did and demonized it. And demonized it. Wanted to go and you know, even with and I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. It wasn't just white people that did that. Black people started doing that first. And it goes all the way back to Akhenaten, which they say is like the beginning of these mystery schools. He didn't like the priesthood of Amen Ra, and he goes and changes his name and does all of this extra shit. But I guarantee you, before he died, he realized, oh, it's all the same deity. But once it had, you know, like, if the priesthood of Amen Ra is going out, and which I don't know if this is true, you know, niggas lie all the time, if the priesthood of Amin Ra would say taking advantage of kids and doing all of this, that, and the third, and he wants to dethrone this as the main religion, you know, I gotta demonize it. Because, you know, apparently Akhenaten, which may or may not be Moses, went and got the Kabbalah, and he kind of heralded that as the foundation to monotheism. But monotheism has individual deities too. So they basically said, no, y'all don't need to be worshiping all these different gods. There's one God in the air. There's one God. And then they split that God into 72 fucking angels and 72 demons and all of this other bullshit. And at the end of the day, the indigenous people understood this. Some people did, maybe some people didn't. But you switching the way that we approach it or see it is not really gonna do anything, because at its core, the niggas who understand. Period. And I think that's one of the you know, the futile things that a lot of these, and you know, I don't know what a black magician is. I consider myself a black magician because I'm black and I use my melanin. Period. But they say black shit is evil. So if that's the case, the evil black magician shit would be them white folks. It'll be that deity you call Jesus Christ that was created by them same white folks that I just fucking described to you. And he was created as a vampire deity. A vampire deity. Like I said, you're not gonna believe me, you know, especially if you grew up a Christian and you just said your prayers this morning. But that's why I'm so against Christianity, because for the shit that I just explained to you, the Christianity was what they gave you when they stripped you away from you. And I'm not just talking about white people and black people. Like, we know that that's what was done with the Bible, because there was no slaves in Hebrew slaves in Israel. That's been debunked. But niggas don't read or niggas don't study, so niggas just go with whatever and still pushing 10-year-old, 20-year-old information that's been debunked. There's never been any slavery in Egypt. Hell, there wasn't no fucking pale melanin deficient motherfuckers either in East Africa back then. Hell, they weren't even alive. And if they were light-skinned niggas. Light-skinned. Maybe probably a little bit lighter than me, but no, ain't no lighter than that. Hell, I might have been considered a white man back in the day. You never know, but I know that white folks didn't exist. So, same with the European Masonic guilds, that they say that Masonry started from the European building guilds, and that's not true. There's absolutely no evidence to show that there was ever builders guilds in anywhere in Europe. There's no evidence of that. It's also been proven that the Stonehenge isn't really as ancient as it as they make it out to be, and basically they go and reset it every year. Wait till ain't nobody looking, obviously, and reset that shit, and to make it seem like it's this long-standing shit that won't fall. It's a seventh wonder of the world, just because white folks want something. White folks want to trick you into thinking that they are mystical, that they're not. They're not. And the Stonehenge is real. Some black folks did it. At the very least, black folks gave white folks the instructions. But I don't think that's because we tried to give white folks instructions. The Moors tried to do that, and that was the worst decision black people have ever made. Now, I'm gonna be honest, I don't know if the Moors sold niggas out. I'm not sure. But I do know that the worst thing that could have ever happened was giving white folks real knowledge and real science. Because they still behave like animals. They're not that old of a species, but they're old enough to still not be behaving like animals. But they behave like animals. They've done more murdering, more raping, more, you know what I'm saying, than any other group of people. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm just keeping it 100, man. It's important that we study and we understand what the fuck we dealing with, because everything's been flipped to finesse you. That's why the decks are stacked against us, because subconsciously we fucked up. We fucked up. And you not gonna, your therapist not gonna talk to you about this. Your therapist not gonna talk to you about this. Hell, you try talking to your therapist about this, she will put your ass in the loony bin, especially if you black. And especially if you look like you might be able to, lead people out of their ignorance. But that would get you the fuck on, even if you're not planning to do that. So, because there's a lot of fucking agents out here, bro. And you don't understand, most agents aren't willing agents. Their family's been threatened. You understand what I'm saying? Martin Luther King, classic example. That nigga worked for the CIA, but I refuse to believe that he willingly and knowingly went out and just fooled black people. I feel like he thought he was doing good, and he thought that he could work for the CIA and still do some good, which I guess he did, but that's another story, that I don't really want to get into. But yeah, man, I just want to let y'all know, like, this darkness shit, man. Stop being scared of it, because your darkness is what, like I said, that's where the light comes from. That's where everything that you need, all the new things, if you're looking for new patterns in your life, you're trying to break cycles in your life, that's done by accessing your melanin and your darkness. And as long as you're scared of that, your progression is going to be real slow. So you need to understand, you need to absorb, and and you hearing this information that I'm telling you is not going to make you all of a sudden just not scared of the darkness no more. You got generations of programming that you've got to undo, and that's only done through through a cult study. So, this is really a foundational video for black occultists. Once you get this understanding, then you see, like me, I can read these white occultists and I can understand that they are, I can understand that they write shit from their point of view. I can understand that they've teamed up. And they all, in some way, shape, or form, are kind of they have an agenda. But that takes study. Like I said, you're not gonna get it just by listening to me. Your ego is gonna push all this shit out your head as soon as you turn this video off. So you gotta make it your duty to go and reprogram your subconscious mind. So y'all be easy, man. Don't choose stupidity today. Choose your melanin. Choose your real light. Which like I said, even the white folks will say that the real light is the Ein Sof over the Kabbalah, over Kether. So once you really get down to it, you see, oh, what they did was they demonized it, and then behind the scenes they using all this dark shit for themselves, because that's the only thing that works. All this white magic shit, that's no, you know, that's no different from me praying to Jesus. If we keeping it 100, it's no difference. Praying to these deities of light. Those are subordinate deities. But yeah, man, I'm gonna leave y'all alone, man.